Hi guys, this is Ian back with another video, and today I am going to review this iPhone 13 Pro. I've been using this phone for 2 weeks now, and I'm going to go through the specs and my thoughts about this phone coming from an Android user. So stay tuned. Alright guys, my name is Ian. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you guys are new to my channel, do consider to click on the subscribe button. But if you're not the first time here, thank you so much for watching my video again. Alright, so I've been using this iPhone 13 Pro for 2 weeks now, and I'm ready to share with you guys my thoughts and what I feel about this phone coming from an Android phone user for 7 years. So I've been using Android phones for 7 years, and this is my first time moving back to iPhone and the Apple ecosystem. Right, so I'm just gonna open this up. Very simple. And this box here, the blue, by the way, is not really representative of the actual phone itself, as you can see later. So as you open the, obviously I've used this phone, this is just for dramatic effect. So you will then lift this phone up, okay, and there will be a cable inside, USB-C to lightning cable, and of course some Apple stickers in there. So okay, let's remove this. So this is my phone, is already on, obviously. This is the iPhone 13 Pro. Very nice phone. It comes with 4 colors, and this is the latest color, which is the Sierra Blue, right? And the standard color, which is the graphite, the gold, the silver, and this Sierra Blue. Okay, the look and feel of this phone is the same as last year. It's very nice. It's got this premium look to it with the stainless steel sides, the edges, obviously the glass back, but the glass back here is matte, and it's not glossy, which is good. No fingerprints, okay, but actually honestly I don't really care about the fingerprints. It doesn't really bother me. Fingerprints are pretty okay. In fact, the look of this stainless steel and the mirror finish is what gives the phone a very premium feel to this phone. The button here is the power button, okay, and it's so nice. Look at the power button. It's integrated, it's stainless steel. If you look at Android phones, not many have this kind of design whereby it's so integrated. You can't even see the button right here, okay. And then on this side is the volume rocker and the silent switch, and till now Apple's still keeping this silent switch, okay. It's been here for many years, but it's still there, okay. Then at the bottom you have the speaker grills, and then you have the lightning port here, and still the lightning port, unfortunately. And best of the upgrade this year is the camera bump, okay. It's bigger this year. It's bigger than the iPhone 12 Pro, okay. This phone weighs in at 204 grams compared to last year. It's a bit heavier. Last year was 180 grams, and it's got this sharp edge to it, but I kind of like the sharp edge compared to the round edges of the, let's say, iPhone 7. This is a very dated design, so you get a very good grip to the phone compared to, you know, the round edges here. So sharp edges are pretty good. You get a good grip, you know, you can feel the phone itself. But most of us will be having this phone in a case anyway, so yeah, it doesn't matter whether it's sharp or not, because the case itself could be around the corner. Alright, so overall, this phone has a very good build quality, and I do appreciate the build of this phone compared to many other Android phones, okay. And yeah, I kind of like the build quality of this. Okay, so let's talk about the screen. So screen compared to last year is almost the same, but the biggest upgrade on this screen is the refresh rate. So now what Apple calls is the Pro Motion. Alright, this is a 120 Hz refresh rate screen. In fact, it's adaptive refresh rate. So what happens is that if you are watching a movie which is at 24 frames per second, the screen will refresh at 24 frames per second. And if you're playing some games, it will then refresh based on the performance of that app itself, that game. For example, if the best highest refresh rate for that game is 60 frames per second, it will adapt to that refresh rate. So the good thing about the refresh rate is that 120 Hz, I mean, it's not new to Android phone users. I've been used to 120 Hz refresh rate for many years now, and it's only now that Apple has this Pro Motion refresh rate on their screens. But yeah, I do appreciate that. It looks good when you're scrolling, you're moving your finger up and down. You will not see that motion blur of the text if you are browsing the internet or anything like that. It looks very smooth. The scrolling is very smooth. The swiping is very smooth. And for the notch here, if you can see, this year the notch is a little bit smaller, slimmer, 20% actually, but the height of it is still the same, so no change in that. Okay, the height of this is the same compared to the iPhone 12 Pro. Okay, so let's talk about the battery. So this phone this year has got a bigger battery at 3000 milliamps compared to iPhone 12 Pro, which is only at 2800 milliamps. And it's got a faster charging as well, 23 watts compared to 20 watts of charging. And the battery can last a little bit longer. It's about 5 hours longer than the iPhone 12 Pro. Okay, so but the biggest upgrade and the reason why I bought this phone is for the cameras. Okay, so this year the iPhone 13 has got 3 big improvements to this camera. It's got a wide camera, it's got ultra wide camera, and it's got 3 times optical zoom. All right, and also the macro photography lens. Well, basically it's the ultra wide camera that performs this, and you can really take macro photos at very close up distance, up to about 2 centimeters, which is about 20 millimeters. And that's great. I've been using this camera for 2 weeks now, and I really love the camera. In fact, I would say this is the best smartphone camera in the market this year. Okay, and the new addition to the software is the cinematic mode. Okay, so in terms of professional cinematic recording, filmmakers like to use a cinematic mode whereby you have blurred backgrounds and focus on the main subject itself, and Apple implemented this cinematic mode. But this cinematic mode is only at 1080p and at 30 frames per second. So I think it's still work in progress for Apple. I'm sure in many years to come, this cinematic mode will be very much improved. Okay, and also for those Pro phones, which is the 13 Pro and the Pro Max, you will get ProRes video recording. So what is ProRes video recording? ProRes video recording usually is used by those professional videographers, and this is the format they use, and it's a very high bitrate format, and usually it comes in a very big file. So for average consumers like you and me, we don't usually use this format because it's a huge file. So that's the reason why for ProRes, in order to be able to record in ProRes, your phone needs to be at least 256 gigabytes. If not, ProRes will not be available for your Pro phone, which is the iPhone 13 Pro. Right, so that's for the Camera, I love the camera. I've been shooting with this phone's camera and I love the results. Okay, on the internal, is, you know, every year Apple upgrades its CPU, and it's not different this year. Inside here you have the A15 Bionic chip. It's got a 5-core GPU. Basically, it's like the S version of the iPhone 12, but you know, Apple has done away with that numbering. No more 7, 7S, 8, 8S kind of a situation. Now it's basically number after number. And yeah, it's not so much of an upgrade from 12 Pro, but if you look at it, it's actually a very big upgrade in terms of the camera, the battery, and the screen. So if you are coming from a 12 Pro, this phone or this upgrade is not by a lot. So you might want to consider to stick to your 12 Pro and maybe wait for the iPhone 14 Pro to be out before you consider changing to the next iPhone. Right, so coming from an Android user, all right, so I've been using Android phones for 7 years now, and what do I think about this iPhone? Okay, basically, the first thing is the ecosystem. I appreciate Apple's ecosystem, whereby the software is built within the hardware itself. The hardware is designed revolving around the software, which is iOS 15 and the Mac OS and everything else. Every device is interconnected and interlinked by and made by one company. So I think if you're in that ecosystem, you will appreciate that system as compared to Android, because Android is a software where many companies can adopt, and not all the device and hardware can work in harmony. Okay, and basically the support of this software, Apple does many updates throughout the years for the iPhone, for the Mac, and even if you have a very old dated Mac or iPhone, Apple still develops the software and updates the OS for that particular model. So I appreciate that as well, because Apple is consistently updating the software for the phone. The operating system is always fresh, up to date, and modernized. Okay, and yeah, I think it's a pretty good advantage, okay, as compared to Android phones. Okay, so what I don't like about this iPhone 13 Pro, firstly is, well, it may be good, may be bad, but it's the weight of this phone. It's pretty hefty, and firstly, it gives a very premium feel to the phone when you're holding it. But then again, if you're holding it for a long period of time, it's quite fatiguing, okay? And it's expensive, all right? It's more than $1,000 for this Pro phone, is compared to a lot of Android phones, and they do offer better features than this iPhone 13 at a much lower price in terms of different brands, okay? And you know, this lightning port, you know, lightning cable has been many years. Apple has been using it for many years, and they are still sticking to this lightning, you know, cable charging port. I mean, they do have their reasons for keeping the lightning port, but I do really hope that they change to USB-C. Everything else is USB-C. My MacBook is USB-C. The only thing that is lightning is this iPhone 13, which is the latest device in my whole arsenal of devices, which to me doesn't make sense. But it is what it is. Apple wants to keep it. Who knows, maybe next year they will change to USB-C. And the phone itself, as you can see from the box, it doesn't come with any charging brick. Okay, so Apple wants to be eco-friendly and you know, they assume that everyone else have a charging brick in their house, their home, but they gave a cable that is USB-C on one end and Lightning on the other end. So let me ask you, how many of you have a USB-C charging brick in your house? Not many, including myself. The only charging brick that I have that has got a USB port is from my MacBook Pro, and that itself is being used by my MacBook Pro. So I hope Apple really rethinks about the cables that they give and things that they want to omit from their box or from their packaging. I do understand that they want to be eco-friendly, but they do need to understand the ecosystem of the customer and the end user. And another most important thing that I really have a problem with is the fingerprint sensor. All right, so as you can see, if I have a mask on and I'm wearing a mask, in these times everyone has to wear a mask, you won't be able to unlock your phone. Let me try. Okay, you won't be able to unlock your phone if your face is covered. For example, if I cover my face, okay, the phone will not recognize my face. So I have to pull my mask down and look at my phone in order to unlock my phone, or I will have to key in my password. So no fingerprint sensor on screen or at the button, nothing. So I hope Apple, you know, brings back the fingerprint sensor somewhere, maybe under the screen or maybe at the back at the Apple logo here somewhere, you know. So at least it's an option for the user to choose when they are in the different situations. Okay, I'm not saying that the face unlock is not good. In fact, it's very good. The face unlock is very efficient. Okay, I've never failed. If my face is not blocked, it never fails to unlock the phone. And the other thing about the face unlock, yes, when the phone unlocks, like so, you have to swipe. But on Android phones, they give you this option whereby you don't need to swipe. Okay, the moment the phone unlocks, face unlock on an Android phone, it goes straight to your home screen. Okay, but for Apple iPhone, you'll need to swipe after the phone unlocks, which is a little bit of hassle because sometimes, you know, I'm carrying my groceries, I'm carrying my child in my hands are not free, and the phone unlocks, and I need to swipe up in order to use the phone with two hands. So basically, the use of the phone with two hands and with one hand is pretty cumbersome when it comes to that. Yeah, so those are my conclusion and my summary of this phone. Do I recommend this phone? Yes, I do, for the camera. Okay, and I'm back to the iPhone solely for the camera. Right, so that's it for this video. If this video has been helpful in your decision-making process, do consider to give it a thumbs up. Okay, right, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next video. Cheers.